Our second reading this morning comes from the Gospel according to Luke, from the second chapter, verses 41 through 52. Now, every year his parents went to Jerusalem for the festival of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up as usual for the festival. When the festival was ended and they started to return, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but his parents did not know it. Assuming that he was in the group of travelers, they went a day's journey. Then they started to look for him among their relatives and friends. When they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem to search for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished, and his mother said to him, "Child, why have you treated us like this? Look, your father and I have been searching for you in great anxiety." He said to them, "Why were you searching for me? Did you not know that I must be in my father's house?" But they did not understand what he said to them. Then he went down with them and came to Nazareth and was obedient to them. His mother treasured all the things in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and in years and in divine and human favor. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
I remember as a child, somewhere in this range of 10, 11, 12, I'd say that my parents shipped me off because they didn't want me around for a while during the summer, but it's not really fair because Ashley and I have done the same thing with Braylon, which is ship him out to the East Coast to spend time with his grandparents out there and his uncle and cousins. So I get it. And one summer during this time, I was out with my grandparents in North Carolina, and we went on a trip from their house, and I don't remember the exact aircraft carrier that we went to see, what port we were in, but they took me to see a World War II aircraft carrier. And we're touring it and all this, and we're up at the top of this long escalator that goes from the flight deck down into the main storage hangar of the ship. Now, on that level, they've taken one of the command rooms and they've turned that into the gift shop. Okay? So 10, 11, 12-year-old me, standing at the top of the escalators with my grandparents right behind me, thinking that they're just going to be right behind me the whole way, because that's what's happened the whole tour. Bounds down the escalator. Listen, escalators are not for riding on. Escalators are for taking 3 at a time and getting to the bottom faster, okay? And I'm in the gift shop, right? And about 10 minutes goes by, I'm guessing, or so, and I'm having a good time, but then I kind of look around and I'm like, oh, I don't see Grandpa. I'm like, oh, they must be looking at something else really cool. Do my thing. And I remember the hand that came out of nowhere and grabbed my right arm and pulled me away from what I was doing. It was a firm hand. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I didn't look, but I can imagine that there may have been bruises from this grabbing hand. But it was the hand of love. Scared love. Angry love. But it was the hand of love that pulled me back, and both at that same moment in my grandfather's eyes were fierce anger and complete relief, right? And as he has taught me, the first thing he did was make sure that I was all right. And when I said, yeah, I'm fine, then it happened. Thankfully, we were in a public place. So I can relate a little bit to Jesus in this story, right? Everyone's going off, but you are where you feel you need to be. And when you're found, you're like, why were you looking anywhere else? To me, as that 10, 11, 12-year-old boy on a really cool aircraft carrier that we've now walked around the entire thing, and now at the end of it all, there's the gift shop. To me, I'm going, why'd you look anywhere else? I'm sure to my grandparents it was, this is a huge ship and that's a small child. Where, oh where could he possibly be? And the problem that came with it, and I think it's the problem that Mary and Joseph have in this story also, is that once there is the realization that the child is not there anymore, you have a lot of different places to go. And for my grandparents, it was they did not realize I went down the escalator. Because I didn't hear them talking about whether they were going to go to the right or go down. And they wanted to start going right. And then they realized, there's no Jeff. Big ship. Where, oh, where could he have gone? 3 days it takes Mary and Joseph to go through Jerusalem to find their child. 3 days. Okay? The first place you would think to look would be temple, right? We're all thinking that, right? We're all going, Mary, Joseph, you've had angels come to you. You know that you have borne the Son of God. There's a huge story about this. In 12 years, have you forgotten what happened that day? Parents, what has happened when you lose the child? Even if it's just one room over. You get parent brain, don't you? And parent brain has no ability to think logically or remember anything that's happened before that moment. Except for the last 10 to 15 minutes going, where was the child when I last remember? And even then, you usually can't do it. You get nervous and you do strange things. But maybe part of the problem is that Mary and Joseph were in the situation that we find ourselves in right now. And that is, we had all this lead up to Christmas. And now it's done. How many people have already taken down trees and decorations from their house? Okay. Having the decorations up from Thanksgiving to Christmas, those are Advent decorations. Okay? Your Christmas decorations started Christmas Eve. And they run until next Sunday, which this year, Epiphany Sunday is actually Epiphany. Those are the 12 days of Christmas, okay? Birth of Christ to the finding of Christ. The 12 days of Christmas. The 12 days of Christmas are not the ones that lead up to it. It's the ones that follow. We are in Christmas right now, but we've already left it behind, haven't we? It's come and gone. We're already on to planning for what? New Year's, huh? Everyone's getting ready for tomorrow night. And probably sleeping really, really long on Tuesday. We get past it quickly, and I think one of the problems for us in the church is that we are in that situation where we've hit Christmas and we're moving on. Because in a couple of weeks, we're going to be back to ordinary time. We're going to be back to the stories of the adult Jesus. We're going to be back focusing on the miracles and ministries. And we're going to forget. We're going to forget what it was that we just went through, what we just celebrated, the excitement of that newborn King that comes into our world, not reigning over us, but coming to serve us. We quickly forget what's going on around us. We quickly forget what the season has meant to us and what it can mean to other people. We quickly forget that were it not for this moment of Christ coming into the world, there would be no moment of Christ going to the cross. Maybe we need to change what we wear around our necks and what we adorn our churches with. Maybe we need to start putting mangers there instead. Maybe that would help us remember a little bit. But we're quick to forget, and it's easy for us to get caught up in everything and go on our way and then realize that we left Jesus behind. It's real easy to look at the story and go, okay, that was nice. What's next? So today we hear a story. And this story is unique to Luke. But it's an important story in Luke's gospel. And it's actually surprising that it's not in Matthew's. Because what they have done, what Luke has done in telling the story is he's given us the birth narrative. What happened 8 days later? Christ was circumcised according to the law. Then, after Mary's been purified, at 6 weeks, he's presented at the temple. Right? These are Jewish rites, rituals. What happens at age 12 to Jewish boys? Bar mitzvah. How old is Jesus at the temple? 12. Following the law. This is Luke's way of expressing how much Jesus is fully Jewish. Expressing the true nature of whom he came into the world for. But Luke's going to take us on a long story of Christ coming into the world for everyone. So this is an important story. And it's an important story that we are also going to lose and leave behind. Because we don't hear it enough. We don't think about its implication enough. We don't look at this age 12, this coming of age and right, this coming to be titled one who is son of the law. So, where does that leave us today? Today it leaves us in the spot where we must not forget. We cannot allow ourselves to forget Christ's birth, to forget the advent that we have gone through waiting for Christ to be here, that we cannot forget the wonder of Christ born into us, and we cannot forget to take and share it. This is the lesson of Mary and Joseph today. Be mindful. Don't assume anything. Because we all know what happens when you make assumptions. You do it to you and umption, because you're not going to do it to me. Don't assume. And be ready to demonstrate that you have never forgotten Christ in your life, and that you do not forget what it is for